Bombshell, Gooners, Arsenal have just been linked with a signing that nobody saw coming, and the price tag is £100 million. Meanwhile, Arsenal's top attacking target has just dropped a hint about his future that every Gooner needs to hear. And it's not what we wanted to hear. And Alex Crook from TalkSPORT has just gone live with a major update on Morgan Rogers that could change everything about how this summer unfolds. If you want all the details on these bombshell stories, subscribe right now, turn on notifications, and let's get straight into it. Let's jump straight into the first story because this one has genuinely come out of nowhere, and it is going to divide the Gooner fan base straight down the middle. According to La Gazzetta dello Sport, Newcastle are demanding £100 million to part with Sandro Tonali this summer. And here is the part that will make your jaw drop. Arsenal are reportedly ready to meet those demands. Manchester City and Manchester United are also said to be in the race. But Fabrizio Romano has already confirmed that Arsenal have been in contact with people close to Tonali about a potential move. This is not vague speculation. This is real. And the logic makes sense on the surface. Arteta has consistently had to manage Rice and Zubimendi's minutes carefully. Both were overplayed at points last season, and the consequences were visible. Lewis Skelly's emergence has provided some relief, but adding genuine world-class depth in the engine room is a legitimate priority. Tonali at 26 is one of the most complete midfielders in the Premier League. His technical quality, physicality, and ability to control the tempo of a game make him exactly the kind of player Arteta would love to work with. But here is the uncomfortable question that has to be asked. Can Arsenal really justify spending £100 million on a midfielder when they only spent £56 million on Zubimendi just 12 months ago? Because bringing Tonali in does not just improve the squad, it fundamentally changes the hierarchy. Zubimendi, Rice, Marino, Lewis Skelly, somebody loses out in a serious way. And given that Zubimendi only joined last summer and showed genuine quality before being overrun with minutes, effectively pushing him towards the exit after one season would be a deeply uncomfortable situation. But maybe that is exactly the point. If Arsenal are serious, truly serious, about bridging the gap to PSG and becoming Champions League winners rather than just finalists, then players of Tonali's calibre might be exactly what the midfield needs. The question is whether Berta can justify the fee when attacking additions remain the clear priority. This one is going to run all summer. Now let's talk about the story that has genuinely stopped Arsenal fans in their tracks this week, because Eli Jr. Krooppy has just dropped a huge hint about where he will be playing next season, and it is not the Emirates Stadium. Speaking to TalkSPORT, the teenager was remarkably calm and clear about his intentions. The next destination? For now, I'm happy in Bournemouth. We're playing Europe next season. We're going to prepare for that. It's going to be good. Now we know Krooppy is a massive target. Christian Falk confirmed that both Arteta and Berta are huge admirers, that the youngster is very high on Arsenal's list, and that €100 million is already being discussed. PSG are interested. The two Manchester clubs are keen. The competition is fierce, and yet right now the player himself is pointing towards staying put. And here is the honest truth. As gutting as that is to hear as a Gooner, Krooppy staying at Bournemouth for another year might actually be the right decision for him. Think about it. At Arsenal, he would be competing with Gyökeres, Havertz and whoever else Berta brings in this summer. His game time would drop significantly. He would go from being the undisputed star of a Premier League side to fighting for minutes in a packed elite-level squad. At Bournemouth, with European football now on the menu, Krooppy is the main man. He gets to develop at his own pace, in an environment where he is trusted and celebrated, against increasingly high-quality opposition. For a 19-year-old with his profile, that could be genuinely invaluable. The good news? This is clearly not a forever decision. It would only be a matter of time before a player this talented makes the move to a Champions League club. If not this summer, Arsenal must stay absolutely locked in for 2027. Krooppy is worth the wait. Now let's talk about Morgan Rogers, because TalkSPORT journalist Alex Crook has just gone on air with an update that should give every Arsenal fan a serious boost heading into the transfer window. Crook was direct and confident in what he had been told. The interest in Morgan Rogers from Arsenal is genuine. I'm told there have been early discussions between Arsenal and Rodgers' camp. I think if a huge bid is made, around the £80 to £100 million mark, then Villa, with their financial limitations, might well have to sell him. Read the key words there. Early discussions have already taken place between Arsenal and Rodgers' camp. This is not just club-to-club interest. The players' representatives are already talking to Arsenal. That is a massive development. And the financial pressure on Aston Villa makes the situation even more favourable for the Gunners. Villa do not want to sell, but at £80 to £100 million, they may simply have no choice. Now, there is one genuine debate to be had here about where exactly Rodgers fits in Arteta's system. His best position is as a number 10. But that is also where Ez, Odegaard and Havertz all operate. If you are spending north of 80 million on a player, you want to play him in his best role, not force him out wide as a makeshift option. That is a conversation Arteta needs to have a clear answer for before the deal is done. But here is the bigger picture. Rodgers ticked every single box we discussed. Premier League proven, physically dominant, versatile, excellent injury record, and 14 goals and 12 assists last season. If Krooppy stays at Bournemouth, as it now looks like he might, Rodgers becoming Arsenal's primary attacking addition this summer makes complete sense. A strong World Cup showing will only accelerate this deal. Berta, the groundwork is already done. Finish it! Now let's round things off with a twist in the Leandro Trossard saga. Because Team Talk are reporting that despite widespread assumptions that his departure is inevitable this summer, Arsenal are actually far from decided on selling him. The situation is more nuanced than it first appeared. Yes, Arsenal are open-minded about a sale. Yes, Trossard has been mentioned alongside Martinelli and Jesus as players who could move on to create space and funds for new arrivals. But according to Team Talk, unless a deal is right for both the club and the player, the Gunners will be perfectly happy to keep the Belgian around for next season. And when you think about it honestly, that position makes complete sense. Trossard has been one of the most reliable and intelligent players in Arteta's squad since arriving from Brighton for just £27 million. He never causes problems, he works tirelessly, he can play across multiple positions, and he brings exactly the kind of experience and composure that younger players in the squad still need time to develop. The reports linking Berta'S and others to Trossard are not exactly inspiring either. If the best offer on the table is from a club of that level, Arsenal are absolutely right to hold firm and demand proper value. There is no urgency to sell a reliable squad player for a pittance just to clear space. The reality is that Trossard's future will likely depend entirely on what else happens in the window. If Rodgers comes in and takes the left-wing role and another attacking option arrives alongside him, then Trossard becomes genuinely surplus to requirements and a sale makes sense. But if the summer moves slowly or key targets do not materialise, keeping a professional and experienced operator like Trossard around as genuine depth is not a bad position to be in. Berta will make the right call, but there is no panic here whatsoever. Now I want to hear from you. Should Arsenal really spend £100 million on Tonali when attacking additions are the priority? Are you worried about Krooppy staying at Bournemouth? Does Crook's Rodgers update excite you? And do you think Trossard deserves to stay for another season? Drop everything in the comments right now. I read every single one, and your debates are always absolutely electric. Let's build this window together. And if you want every Arsenal update as we push to bring that Champions League trophy to the Emirates, hit that subscribe button immediately. Smash it right now and turn on notifications. The window opens in days, and we are coming for everything. Until next time, Gooners, come on you Gunners.